Hello, this is Coach Vic, this is Pioneer 40. Welcome back to the channel. I really want to thank you guys for like, sharing, and subscribing to the videos. Thank you guys for continuing to join and allowing me to grow into this process and all that we're doing. Today, I'm really excited. We're going to talk about the infinite supply, And we're going to start out like this. Therefore, I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. That's Mark 11:24. This is a spiritual universe. You and I are part of, and spirit operates by law. Law is the uniform, orderly method of the omnipotent God. And without faith, it is impossible to please him. For whoever would draw near to God must first believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him diligently. And that is in Hebrews 11:6. Therefore, the Spirit never expresses itself other than perfectly. The imperfection we experience is the result of the thinking. We are a spiritual being and as such have been endowed with the unique ability to think. Therefore, our source of supply is infinite. Thought is the preamble to everything that your ability to originate. Thought and mental move in a thought-filled world to guarantee an abundant life. The Spirit never expresses itself other than perfectly. The imperfection we experience is the result of our individual or collective ways of thinking. Thought is the preamble to everything. And so we have to remember that when we think about things, everything that we think about has the opportunity to manifest. And so therefore, it is important for us to mind our thoughts. Mind our thoughts. The imperfection that we experience is the result of individual or collective ways of thinking. And this is important for us to understand, because when we get to this point of the group of people that we're around, the people that we allow into our environment, the people that we allow to enter into our sacred space, so to speak, their thought patterns, their thought processing, and the way that they think and deliver messages are going to eventually permeate our way of thinking, and are going to change the way that or change the way we see things, or have an impression on how we see things. And so it's important for us for you to understand who you have in your boat, so to speak, who is in your environment, who have you allowed into, and how do they think, and what do they think, and how do they influence your way of thinking. You are a spiritual being, and as such, have been endowed with the unique ability to think. Therefore, your source of supply, my source of supply, is infinite. The imperfection we... Sorry about that. Every material object is the manifestation of a non-physical power. And so when we begin to understand that everything was made by God, it was made by His omnipresent Spirit. And so as we begin to understand God's omnipresence in everything, everything that is here on earth, everything that's here on earth was created by the creative Spirit of the omnipresent God. The manifestation of non-physical power, which is Spirit. Spirit is omnipresent, 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. This is the thing that is so important, is that the Spirit is omnipresent. That means that even while we're here, while you're there, while I'm here, the Spirit is in me. The Spirit is in you. The Spirit is around us. It is in the air we breathe. It is in everything that we do. And so when you begin to understand that, when we begin to speak, the Spirit is ready to create based on our words, because our words are spirit, our words are life. Our words give life to our thoughts, give life to our actions, and allow us the opportunity to be able to see exactly what it is we think. So our words are creative. Just as the Spirit of God is creative, the Spirit of God is creative and created and said, let there be light. And then on the second day, He created more things. On the third day, even more things. And on the fourth day, He created the heaven, and He created the sun and the moon, and all those things, and on down to the sixth day. And then when he got to man, when he got to us, when he got to who we are, the scripture says he breathed life into us, and man became a living soul. And when the same breath that God was creating with was breathed into us, and so now we are able to, with the same breath, create just as he created. When he said, let there be light, he gave us the same ability, the same power to speak and say, let there be light. And so therefore, we have to understand and really begin to look at the situation as it is. When we're looking at our ability to succeed, our ability to succeed becomes from our ability to speak. Our ability to speak comes from our ability to think. And so as you begin to put those three things together, think, speak, succeed. Think, speak, succeed, and so what we have and don't have is based on our ability to verbalize our thoughts. And our thoughts will only manifest, will only be as successful as our thought pattern manifests. All knowledge is also 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. Why? Because knowledge belongs to spirit, and spirit is everywhere. So knowledge and spirit are one. And the Bible says, in all of your getting, get understanding. And so as we begin to understand, if we begin to understand who we are, if we begin to have a metacognitive knowledge of our presence here and how we fit into our environment and how our environment fits into us and how all things work together and in common, we begin to have a growing understanding of how everything works. Metacognitive is the last level, not the first. And so when you go from a basic level, a factual level, onto a conceptual level, and then onto the process level, and then the metacognitive, the procedural, and the metacognitive, then you begin to see how it just begins from the basis all the way down to everything reflecting back and pointing back to us. And that's having the difference, or being the difference in our environment, but also making the difference in every environment we go into. This is so important for us to understand. All knowledge there ever was or ever will be is also 100% evenly present in all places at the same time. Likewise, all power is omnipresent. As a spiritual being, you have the ability, you have the access to everything you will ever want or need to live the life you choose. And then this is important for us to understand. We always think that we need to go out and get something, or we have to go out and find something outside of who we are or what we are in order for us to be able to live the abundant life. But the truth of the matter is we need to be more aware of what's inside of us, and then allow what's inside of us to begin to manifest as you begin to speak, as you begin to verbalize, as you begin to intellectualize what is going on the inside of us. We'll begin to have a better understanding or awareness of what's going on around us, and therefore we're able to begin to process more, and from that processing more, we have a better chance of being successful. Access to everything you need, everything you will ever want or need to live the life you choose. Nothing is impossible to the mind. All its guidance and power is available to you. When you have fully realized thought causes all, you will know that there will never be any limits that you yourself do not impose. That is important for you to understand. The only limits we have are the ones that we impose upon ourselves. Your degree of awareness of the beautiful truth will manifest as results in your life. Nothing is impossible to the mind. All guidance and power are available to you. When you have fully realized thought causes all, you will know there will never be any limits that you yourself do not impose. And that is by U.S. Anderson. And then we're going to talk about the spirit of opulence. If we clearly realize that the creative power in ourselves is unlimited, then there is no reason for limiting the extent to which we may enjoy what we can create by means of it. What we are drawing from infinite, we need never be afraid of. Taking more than our fair share, that is not where the danger lies. A lot of times, we have a hard time adjusting to the fact that we have this knowledge, we have ability, but we think that we only allowed a certain amount. We only allowed a small amount, and so and that thought process comes from a lack mindset or a mindset of scarcity, not believing that there's more than enough, and that there's no abundance and there's no increase, but there's only a limited amount, and after that limited amount is gone, there's none left. And that is not the way it's supposed to be at all. We actually have an abundance. We walk in abundance. We are abundant. And so we have to remember to live life according to that abundance we have inside of us. And so as we're living life and we're expressing that abundance inside of us, then because we become more abundant, everything around us becomes more abundant as well. The danger is not sufficiently realizing our own richness, and looking upon the externalized products of our creative power as being the true riches instead of the creative power of spirit itself. If we avoid this error, there is no need to limit ourselves in taking what we will from the infinite storehouse. All things are yours. All things are mine. All things are yours. All things are mine. All things are yours. All things are mine. And we have to get that down inside of our inner man and begin to digest that and understand that and know and give us the ability to know that there's nothing that we cannot have. There's nothing that we cannot be, because all things are ours. And by realizing the true wealth is identifying ourselves with the spirit of opulence. We must be opulent in our thoughts. Do not think money as such, for it is only one means of opulence. But think opulence that is largely generous and liberal, and you will find that the means of realizing this thought will flow to you from all quarters, whether as money or as in hundreds of other things that cannot be reckoned in cash. And this is the thing that's important. And when we're manifesting, when we're talking about creating, we can't let ourselves be bogged down by one stream of creation. We have to allow ourselves allow our imagination to give us the ability to create in all areas, in multiple areas, so that we can begin to see manifestation in all areas. We want to be well-rounded. We want to be whole individuals, and so we're not going to just look at one area and say, this is what I want to create in, and this is where I'm going to find my greatest joy, because that's not always true. The truth of the matter is, once you get to the place of creation and you begin to understand how to create, and you begin to understand more about creating, then you're going to realize that some of the opulence in your life is not going to be reckoned by the amount of cash that you hold in your hand. We must not make ourselves dependent on any particular form of wealth, or insist on it coming to us from some particular channel that is at once to impose a limitation and to shut out all other forms of wealth, to close other channels. But we must enter into the spirit of it, and the spirit is free, and the spirit is life. The spirit is truth. The spirit is life. And so, as we begin to understand that, this last point is so important. We must not make ourselves dependent on any particular form of wealth, or insist on it's coming to us through some particular channel. So when we're looking at opportunities, when we're looking at manifestation, all we're doing is allowing ourselves to believe that we have it, to believe that we hold it, and then however it gets to us is how it gets to us. Our job isn't for it to come to us. Our job is just to believe that it is coming, and then allow it to come, which means it does come. Now, the spirit is life, and throughout the universe, life ultimately consists of circulation, whether within the physical body of the individual or on the scale of the entire solar system and circulation. Means a continual flowing around the spirit of opulence is no exception to this universal flow of all life. When once this principle becomes clear to us, we shall see that our attention shall be directed rather to the giving than the receiving. We must look upon ourselves not as misers' chests to be kept locked for our own benefit, but as centers of distribution, that the better we fulfill our function as such centers, the greater will be the corresponding inflow. And so basically what I'm saying here is we're not going to just be a treasure chest kept to ourselves, but as we become distributors. And as you distribute, you have to be replenished. And the more you distribute, the more you replenish. The more you pour out, the more you get poured into, and you become abundant just from giving, not just receiving. And so as we continue to understand that process of being givers, of being releasers, as we release, we catch, and as we catch, we release. And it becomes a full cycle of abundance. Through the releasing and the catching, through the distributing, and the inflow, distribute and inflow. It's so important for us to understand that in order for us to fully function at our greatest point of manifestation, we must first be willing to give. Mental faculties always work under something which stimulates them. And this stimulus must come either from without, through the external senses, or from within, by the consciousness of something not perceptible on the physical plane. The recognition of this interior source of stimulus enables you to bring into your consciousness any state you desire. And this is really, really important. We have to really begin to understand this on a level. We need something to stimulate our mind. When we talk about wealth, the first thing you think about is gold, riches, money. You think about treasure chest. There's something that you can put wealth to. You can just say bank accounts. You can say fancy cars. You can say big homes. You can say all these things. But ultimately, what happens is we begin to think about wealth. The first thing you think about is there's some kind of to stimulate that thought process is gold or money. And so with this, there has to be something on like I said, through the external senses or from within the consciousness of something not perceptible on the physical plane. And so when we get, our imagination is not on the physical plane, but it does stimulate us to have ideas about how we want to generate or create wealth and what wealth actually looks like for us. Once a thing seems normal to you, it is then surely yours through the law of growth and attraction, as is yours to no addition after you have the conscious use of figures. This method of repeating the word makes the word in all of its limitless meaning yours, because words are the embodiment of thoughts, and the thought is creative, neither good nor bad, simply creative. And this is the thing we have to understand, is that once it becomes commonplace, when you talk about wanting to be a millionaire, it becomes initially it's extravagant. You're like, oh man, it's extravagant. I can't imagine this. I can't imagine that. I can't. But once in your mind, you settle it in your mind, and it becomes common to you. You begin to look at lifestyle, the lifestyle of what a millionaire would be, and it becomes common. And you're looking at cars, you're looking at this, you're looking at that, and you begin to actually begin to generate those habits. Then it is most assuredly yours. Because why? Because when we said before, what you're seeking is seeking you. Once you find out who you're supposed to be, and you begin acting out of and moving in that energy, moving in that vibration, then the world, the universe conspires to bring to you what you're seeking. What you're seeking is seeking you. And what you're desiring is desiring you. It's desiring to be with you. And so as you're moving in that energy and moving in that flow, you're going to begin to see how everything around you begins to conspire to construct the lifestyle that you're desiring or that you're wanting. Therefore, we are able to and capable of designing our environment to be suitable for the purpose of which we are designed. If the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ Jesus from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his spirit who dwells in you. And that's in Romans 8 and 11. Romans 8 and 11. And so as we're going through that, as we understand that Once, and I'll repeat it again for you. Once a thing seems normal to you, it is as surely yours. Through the law of growth and attraction, as it is yours to no addition after you have the conscious use of figures. And so, just like, and basically, what this is saying is through the law of growth and attraction, you're gonna acquire the same knowledge of something. You're gonna acquire the same habits of something as you would for mathematics. When you know 1 + 1 is 2, then it becomes very easy for you to begin to really realize and actualize and do math, because you know addition, you know subtraction, you know multiplication, you know division. And once you become familiar with numbers, whether they be sine or cosine or however you want to have the numbers be produced, most surely you're able to solve problems using mathematics. And this is saying the same thing. This method of repeating the word makes the word in all of its limitless meaning yours. It's yours. It's mine. You say it. It's mine. Therefore, we are able to and capable of designing our environment to be suitable for the purpose for which we are designed. And so, I really want to reiterate this, because we always assume that we're the product of our environment, but the actuality is that our environment is a product of our words. Our environment is a product of our thoughts, of our thought patterns, the way we think, of our habits and of our desires. And we surround ourselves with things that we habitually speak, we habitually think, and we habitually act on. And remember, we talked about the result, or the outcome is always thought, feelings, action, and results. Thoughts, feelings, action, and results. And so our environment becomes a product of thoughts, feelings, action, and results. If the spirit of, we talked about the scripture, the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through the Spirit who dwells in you. And I put this in here, and I want us to understand the reason why this is there is because out of that spirit, that spirit is the creative spirit. It's the creative spirit of God. It's the one that said, let there be light. It's the one that said, let there be, and then he said, let us create. In all of those things, let there be birds of the air, let there be fish of the sea, let there be a sun, and let there be a moon, let there be stars. All those things were created, and that's the same spirit that raised up that Christ from the dead, and it resurrected Christ. And so when you look at a part of your life that doesn't seem like it's functioning the way that it should, you need to resurrect it. You need to speak life to it and allow it to raise up. By the Spirit, just as the Spirit created and brought all things to life, so have we this same power through the same Spirit to bring our environment to life. Let there be life. Think light, speak light, see light. See life abundantly. We were born rich. Think abundant life, speak abundant life, live in your infinite supply. This is Coach Vic. This is Finding Your 40. Like, share, subscribe to the videos, and continue to follow us as we continue to live life, walk through Finding Your 40 through the success puzzle, and continue to have life on the plane of abundance. God bless you. Have a good day today, and I'm out.